hello, they know, hello, hello, they know, hello, hello, they know, hello, they know.
Live here on YouTube and Twitch. Welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We got, as always, we got Pete Sports Desk with us. Stilo, the main man over here. Got a lot of great things popping on tonight, guys. Got 3 special guests dropping tonight. But before we get into that, let's shout out our sponsors. Shout out to Funko Pop for sponsoring the Wake Up Sports Podcast. You guys can go get your special myself, Boss Man, Pete, or Stilo edition Funko Pop with the Wake Up Sports Podcast logo on the chest. So make sure you guys go get that. They're on sale right now. Go get them. We also want to shout out to Underdog Fantasy Sports for sponsoring the show. Thank you so much. Guys, use code man, Boss Man, Pete Sports Desk, or Stilo. You get a matching deposit on every single bet you guys make. So make sure you guys are using that and taking full advantage of it. Anything you guys want to place a wager on, gaming, football, basketball, Olympics, what your grandma's going to put in her refrigerator, all that kind of shit, man. You guys can get that. So let's get into it tonight. We got some great people joining the show. Shout out to NAWFSIDE. They're going to join us. Local DJ rap group from Odessa, Texas. We're looking forward to that. They're really popping off right now in that area. And then later on tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the combine, the draft, stuff like that with Rod Smith, NFL vet. So we're looking forward to it. So let's get into it. Pete, what's going on with the wide world of sports? What we got going on all over the world?
What you got for us, Pete?
For the sports wise, the first thing we got Caitlin Clark breaking the NCAA tournament for the most points in basketball history for college basketball.
A big shout out to Caitlin Clark. Really been a difference as far as women's basketball goes. I mean, she's made me want to watch women's college basketball more than anybody else I've ever seen. So, I mean, congratulations to her. I mean,
I'm still taking Pistol Pete. I'm still taking Pistol Pete. I'm sorry.
The next big news.
Go ahead, Pete.
The next big news we got Russell Wilson getting cut. We got Aaron Jones getting cut. We got your Cowboys cutting Tyrone Smith.
Yep.
And many more.
So I actually love the Tyron Smith cut because I feel like, with us already being quote unquote negative cap space, now that's with, the new cap space being expanded a little bit more. We'll be back into the positive soon. But I think that's a big relief on the Dallas Cowboys and allows them to make some big moves either now or next off season when CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons end up coming to contract. So I'm not mad at all with that move. I mean, he plays maybe 5 or 6 games a year, if we're honest. So I'm okay with that. Didn't bug me.
I like the Denver getting rid of Russell Wilson. I know the cap hit's gonna fucking hurt, but Manziel I like it.
To boycott his Heisman because Reggie Bush will not get his back. And
interesting.
He said
he's gonna wait
it until Reggie Bush gets back his Heisman.
He's boycotting his Heisman until Reggie gets his?
That's very interesting. So, I mean, are we saying that, is the NCAA going to then give the award to the next lowest, or the next closest voter? Or, what, do we know what they're going to do instead? Have they made a response yet?
I personally haven't heard any responses from the NCAA yet.
Okay.
But we will probably find out in the next couple weeks.
That's interesting. I wonder if they make a move to just go with the second highest voted player. Man, that's crazy.
I would vacate my Heisman.
The next thing we got is LeBron getting to the 40K club.
Let go.
The GOAT of the game of all time. Michael Jordan fans, I know you hate me for saying it, but it is true.
MJ's still the GOAT.
We're allowed opinions.
Repping my Chicago Bulls, baby. And the final story is that multiple teams that have the top 3 picks are thinking about trading back, such as the Cardinals, the Bears, and Patriots.
Ooh, fantastic. So what do we think as far as, I mean, are they, obviously they're looking to trade them off. I mean, what are we looking at getting out of those? I mean, what's the thought process behind that?
Boss, you want to go first?
Well, I don't know why any of those guys are trading in the first place. They all need quarterbacks. I mean, I understand the Bears have Justin Fields, but Justin Fields is a lot of rumors going to Pittsburgh.
My thought process is with the Cardinals is because they need so much help on that team that it's better for them to trade back and get multiple assets in doing that.
Well,
I mean, but you're willing to walk away from somebody with generational talent, Marvin Harrison Jr. Like that's what you're going to risk.
I mean, it's a possibility, but I get where Pete's coming from as far as, you know, getting some assets that they absolutely need right now. I mean, there are so many spots on that team that need to be filled, especially secondary. You know, I mean, Marquise Brown, as great as he is not a starting wide receiver for me. He's not a one for me. So I don't know. There's a lot that needs to be fixed there.
Also kind of going off that, question. The Raiders are actually thinking about moving up. The Raiders are thinking about moving up and taking their quarterback of the future.
Bro, this draft is going to be crazy. I think we're going to see more trades in this draft than we've seen ever.
I mean, who do you think that they get? Like, who do you think they'll get if they trade up?
If I'm the Raiders, I'm going all in, bro. All in. I'm going to go after either Caleb Williams or Drake May. All in.
Okay.
Like they need a player that's going to bring people into the stadium to watch. They need a lot of stuff. But hey, before we move forward to the next subject, for the ladies in here, what do y'all think of Steelo's goatee?
That'd be fire. That'd be insane.
What do we think about Steelo's goatee?
Like that. That would be insane.
Sorry about that, guys.
I know you're good. You're good. But what's your opinion on the Raiders possibly moving up to get their quarterback?
I mean, it's definitely something they need. I mean, if you're gonna compete in this league in the future, Jimmy G's not the future. I think we can all agree that here. I mean, you need a new quarterback, especially one that would look Devontae Adams' way. I mean, this guy needs more targets. He needs more red zone targets. He needs more targets down the field. I mean, this guy did not get near enough of the ball that he should have got this year, in my opinion. Thought he should got it way more. I mean, there's just not a clear wide receiver 2 on that team to not be going to him 12 plus times a game.
Okay.
I like it. What we got up next, Peter? Any WWE, UFC news?
That is pretty crazy. It's just kind of crazy. We're just gonna have to see with what happens with this draft.
Yeah. Well, I think we're getting into that later anyways. I mean, it's a great segue into later because I know we're diving deep into the draft later, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this draft because it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, I agree. Peter, any WWE or UFC news?
Like, I can't even hear Boss. I can hear Steele, but I cannot hear Boss at all.
So do we have any new information on WWE or the UFC?
With the UFC, which we'll bring up in the next episode, UFC 299, Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Chino Vera. And guys, let me just say this. The whole card is stacked from the first fight to the last fight. So if you guys aren't big MMA fans, highly recommend watch that whole thing because it's gonna
100%. It, you know, and Sugar Sean O'Malley, rather, I'll tell you, I'm not a big UFC viewer, but I will tell you that when I have watched him fight or when I've watched clips of him fighting, I mean, that guy is one of the most entertaining fighters that I've ever watched. And it's hard for me to imagine him losing to anybody else right now. As hot as he's been, I know he's one of the best strikers in that class. And I've seen him put people down with a simple jab. And that's a lot of power coming from a guy that you would consider, quote unquote, I guess featherweight is the division he's in. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Coming from a guy, yeah, I can.
Sorry,
boss man.
I'm sorry to cut you off. That's actually bantamweight. A bantamweight.
Bantamweight. Excuse me. I apologize. Bantamweight.
The class that he's in. So.
Well, let's move forward. Are the guests? Are we ready to have our guests come on the show?
Yeah, we got them here in about 10 minutes here, or 7 minutes, but 10 minutes or so. So, guess shoot it to any guest questions that we have today. Do we have anything in the guest comments that anybody would like to come up? Give us
Yeah, guys. If you guys have any questions, let us know. If you guys have any questions for NFL, NBA, MMA, whatever you guys need.
Yeah, let's take it to the comments. Let's see what we got going down in the comments.
And post these because I can't see the comments on the side like I would normally see them on the laptop, I believe.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Peter, can you hear me now?
Also, another thing that I want to bring up is like what you brought up with the WWE. It's actually getting even more shadier. That's going into it because it's looking like that Stephanie McMahon is involved in some of the hush hush.
Well, I mean, do we think that this is real news, or do we think more or less this is kind of the whole, WWE just kind of bringing a lot of drama into it? I mean, what's the thought behind that?
This is not part of a storyline or whatever. This is actually a serious matter because some former WWE superstars have came out and basically have admitted that Vince has done these things to these women.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, that's just such a large story to dive into. I mean, I think, there are a lot of things that haven't been said yet that'll come out here in a couple of weeks, obviously. I mean, that's a murky situation right there.
Very murky. Like, that's a very
that's a whole episode. We're going to have to do a whole episode on that one if we do.
Oh, 100%. And we probably will because while not a lot of information is out about it currently, as soon as it is available, I mean, that's something that we'll absolutely dive into and talk about. But with that being said, I know that we have our guest joining here in about 5 minutes or so. NAWFSIDE DJ and NAWFSIDE Nephew. These guys are really well known in the area. Big into hip hop. Are you guys big rap fans? You guys got some favorite artists that you have of all time? I mean, who do you guys listen to when you go to rap?
Me personally, I'm more of an old school kind of dude. I like my Lil Wayne, Eminem, Kanye, Kendrick.
Kanye before he going through his mental, yeah.
Yes, before.
Heard that, yeah, because I can agree with that 100%. Well, I mean, he seemed to have a different voice back then. He had a little bit different of a style.
We talking about Kanye?
What about you, boss man?
What he does,
bro? What are we talking about? Kanye?
Sorry.
Bro, it's Tupac, Biggie, NWA, Nas. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Tell me you're 40 years old without telling me you're 40 years old.
Shut the fuck.
Damn, that's a jab.
No, I get it. They were obviously legends and greats, but I think that we can agree that lyricism over time, as expected, has grown exponentially. Even with some of these artists that that are not mainstream. I've seen a lot of non-mainstream artists that come out with some bars that perplex my mind, and that I would love for the whole community to hear. And
I
luckily
had some
enough,
candy
tonight,
bars
I
that
feel like
perplexed my mind the other day. Them shits were fire, but
yeah, and hopefully we'll get to talk to these guys tonight that are not mainstream, but I really feel like bring a lot to the rap game, and as absolutely I have absolutely enjoyed listening to them, especially out here. Let me check with our guests, see where they're at.
All right, bet.
look forward to this, man.
Shout out to Chad. Shout out to my aunt that's in the comments, and shout out to a fellow competitor, Mitch.
Oh, that's Miss Anna down there.
You are hilarious.
Hey.
Those tweaks. We're just guys, we're just waiting on our special guests. If you guys have any questions in sports related, let us know.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking forward to it, man. Moving forward, Wake Up
Until we
Sports
wait for our
Podcast. We got a
guests
lot
to
of
get
big guests coming up. We got Vontez Perfect. We've got
we got a little bit of a Friday Night Light star next week on Thursday
we
night.
got that coming up.
Dean.
We got
He will be on. We'll talk a little bit of high school football, a little bit of hockey. Don't know if we got any hockey fans in here, but that will definitely be talked about.
We got Tim Sinclair. Tim Sinclair will be up here. He'll be on the show. PA announcer for the Bulls and the Bears.
I can 100% see that now. After all that, I know it is upsetting, but I think personally, I think it's time for them to move off Justin.
You made the show.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Fields is possibly going to the Falcons. And you guys will hear it first from me, especially with breaking news. So if you guys don't follow me, hit that follow button. It's not happening yet, but it's probably about 75%. Like basically, it's gonna happen. So we'll see.
The Bears are overrated. They're mid.
I mean, another team that I could see him going to is possibly the Raiders, but I don't think so.
Hey, maybe Dallas should call. They need a quarterback.
I'll check that right now. Hold up, I'm gonna get that for you now.
Yeah, tell us what the Raiders draft pick is. I would be interested to see that.
Raiders.
I say Justin Fields goes to Dallas. They need a quarterback.
No, thank you. Kindly, but no, thank you.
Kirk Cousins to Dallas.
Ew.
No, sir.
I can't hear y'all, but I'm lip reading. Why can no one hear us?
They actually had the 7th pick. They have the 7th pick.
Hold on, real quick. Rest of the chat. Can everybody else hear us? Just let me know in the comments if you guys can hear what we're saying. That way we know if we need to fix something real quick.
Yeah, because I can hear Steelo, but I cannot hear Boss.
Okay, so I think Chad can definitely hear. Okay, everybody else said that they can hear. So I would say whoever's lip reading, you might just want to reload.
What do you? Never mind. I can't. Oh man, I about dropped the joke. We were all gone bananas.
Okay, you guys can hear us all.
Peter, if you can't hear me, drop and come back.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do. Hold up.
Sorry, guys. This shit is not easy.
Check.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Finally, I hear you. Okay,
so we have in the guest queue, we have NAWFSIDE. We guys ready to bring in our guest NAWFSIDE from Odessa? What is it? Odessa, Texas. Popular DJ rap group. You guys ready to bring them in? You guys excited? I'm excited. Let's talk some fucking music.
Let's
do it.
go.
Yo, what's going on, y'all?
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
What's up, guys?
Doing great tonight, man. So listen, y'all get a little treat. I get to lead the interview today. What y'all get into today? What's a normal day for y'all? What y'all get into today?
Really, a normal day for us is just work and music on occasions.
Today was really a calm day. We was both off today. We pretty much just played the game, wrote a little bit.
All right, all right. I would say that okay, so I get to lead y'all's interview today. So my first question for you guys is what tell me a little bit about your inspiration behind music. I mean, what drew you to music in the first place? Where you guys were like, this is what we want to do with our life right now. I mean, that it's a big commitment, obviously.
The person that really got me into music is my cousin Bryce. He was rapping like a year or two before I was, and he was just really trying to get me to rap with him, and I really didn't want to. But one day I was just like, make a song. I made it with him. It was kind of nice, so I was just like, I'm gonna keep on going. And ever since then, I done got pretty much better at what I've been doing. So I just been trying to keep it going.
So
All right.
same with me. That's my inspiration. Just my brothers pretty much. They all pushed me to keep writing it, and that's what really started me with doing it. So since then, I kind of fell in love with it and found like a passion with it.
That's amazing to hear, honestly. I mean, I feel like that's probably one of the best things in life is finding something that you're passionate about, that you're able to put a lot of your heart and soul in, because otherwise, I mean, we just go day to day. So hearing that from you guys is inspirational in itself, that you just got to find something that you really love, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you go to college for. So to hear that is absolutely fantastic. So my next question for you would be, uh, who would you say closely resembles the kind of music that y'all make? I mean, obviously you want to be as independent and as new as you can be, but I mean, if you had to choose some artists by name that kind of fit into your kind of genre, what would you say that would be, or who would you say that would be?
I would say, for me, I would probably say like Lil Tuzi or Quinn and FN right now. Those are like some.
Interesting. And just because maybe there are some people out here that don't really know who that is. I mean, where are they from? I mean, do they?
Uh, they're both from Texas. Lil Tuzi's from Dallas Fort Worth, and Quinn and FN is from Austin.
Oh, okay. And what kind of drew y'all to their music? I mean, what was it about it that said, man, like that shit is just amazing? Or
The wordplay for me. I like the
yeah,
wordplay that they use a lot. You know.
I like their beats. Him, Big Yavo. I don't know where Big Yavo from, but
Alabama.
yeah, Alabama. They got like I like a lot of beats with like the 808s in it, so that really fall into like their style.
I mean, and so obviously the beat's a big that's big for y'all. Yeah, I mean, if you can't get with the beat that you're on, is that something that you just kind of throw away? I mean, what's y'all's versatility like? I mean, I mean, would you be able to rap on a beat that you don't necessarily like, or do you just kind of like to stay in y'all's comfort zone?
If I'm trying to get something like, man, I ain't made a song in a while. Let me just make something real quick. I'm gonna stay in my comfort zone. But if I feel like right now we're working on an album and it's gonna be a lot of versatility you'll see throughout that. Like we're starting to use different people's beats, like J. Cole beats
Hey, J. Cole.
and all kinds of different people like LA type rappers, the Detroit beats and different things like that. So we're trying to expand and be more versatile.
Fantastic. My next question for y'all is, I mean, listen, this is a question that could probably produce a lot of thought, but like, what if y'all had to pick a dream location of where to perform, I mean, where would that be for you guys? I mean, where would y'all love to perform at?
My dream location to perform is Rolling Loud.
At
Really?
Rolling Loud, then that's normally in Texas, is it not?
I'm really not sure. I'm really
I
not
think
sure.
they have concerts.
They actually have multiple locations. They have one in Miami, they have one in Texas. They have multiple locations that does it. They actually have one in Chicago. It's like multiple locations for Rolling Loud. Like it's not
Oh,
just
okay. So out of those locations, where would y'all want to be at? Miami?
Yeah, I'll probably
Yeah,
hit
Miami.
Miami. Yeah.
Man, honestly, I want to get to a point in my career to where, like, man, y'all see like Lil Wayne and everybody, they go to whole different countries and other different languages is rapping their music. I want to get to a point where we're like international. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. So if you had to pick like one country outside of USA that you were like, man, like that would be amazing to go perform out there. You said
Japan.
where?
Japan for sure.
Oh, in Japan?
fair.
That would be amazing. No,
I would,
no lie.
yeah, I would love
Especially
to.
having people that don't even speak the same language that are vibing out to your music. I'm sure that would feel absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
You get some good massages out there. That's what I heard from Deshaun Watson.
Man, my next question is kind of a cliche question, but stuff that the fans want to know. I mean, who, if anybody, would you say has been a role model to y'all in life and or in your music? I mean, who are some of the people that have helped you, pushed you, stuff like that?
uh,
I'm gonna
I
say God,
yeah.
and of course, like I said, all my brothers, you, Stilo, DJ, Get Back, all of y'all kind of push me for every time I feel like I don't want to really do this no more, or anytime something kind of made me angry. Y'all always there with their advice and to help push somebody. You feel me?
God gonna always.
Absolutely.
My son is gonna be second for me. You know what I'm saying? I want him to like whenever he grow up, I want him to see that his dad was really trying something, like doing something good for his life. You know what I'm saying?
Especially outside of your normal comfort zone of just getting like a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. I mean, it takes dedication to do the music, I feel. So showing him that it can be done outside of school boundaries, I think is important for all people to see, because some people just struggle in school, and just to show that, hey, we can still do it educated in school or not, we can still make big money, big changes, big moves. So my last question for y'all is really something that kind of gives us an insight to y'all's world. I mean, what are some of the nuances about making music that maybe some of the fans don't know about? I mean, what's some of the behind the scenes stuff that is either difficult or challenging, or what are some of those roadblocks that y'all have to face as far as artists go? I mean, how difficult is it dealing with making an album in time?
Uh, I'm gonna say really just creativity and like I said, that's where we all kind of have to like come and play to help each other, like how we would be stuck. Cause a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, you might have one thought and you think, man, this is nice. And I'll go to show DJ or go to show somebody else and they like, man, nah, that ain't it. So that's a lot of the behind the scenes is really just a whole bunch of verses that's been deleted or ain't heard before, or a whole bunch of small things that we slid into the background as of like ad libs and stuff like that. But people won't notice. Like everybody say, what studio we do it in? We do it all on our phone. Everything that we've done has been on our phones. So
So
that's the
really
That's what's up.
just grinding for real. I mean, what about you, DJ? I mean, what's some that the people don't really know about for you that just is struggle when it comes to making this music? I mean, I know versatility is something that's big. I know it's probably hard stepping outside of how you started rapping into, maybe something new that you're doing.
Really like some of the like blocks that I'm having really is having like multiple things to talk about in my music.
Right.
That's a hard
So,
thing.
so as far as you mean, as far as like, talking about, like completely different topics where we're talking about clothes, cars, and you want to talk about something different that's more meaningful or stuff like that. That's you guys find that kind of difficult from time to time.
Yeah, and like sometimes I'll be having trouble like when I want to write something about like my life, I'll have trouble finding like ways to rhyme my words together.
I get you. And so you're trying to keep the rhyme but still tell the story in its own.
Yeah, and I don't want to like have multiple things going on. I just want to keep it one story. I don't want to throw nobody off with anything.
So
Right,
try
you're
to
trying to.
keep
I get what you're saying. You're trying to paint a picture. I like that.
it.
You want to be all over the place.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, Boss Man or Pete, if you guys had any questions for these guys before we let them get on with their night. Go ahead and shoot those questions up. Chat, if you guys got any questions for them, if you guys want to throw them up here real quick, that would be fantastic. But I guess I'll start with you, Boss Man. If you want to, got any questions that maybe I forgot or that you wanted to throw in there?
Top 3 rappers of all time. Who's your favorite?
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna say Lil Wayne.
Wayne for sure.
Wayne always goes first.
Duh.
Eminem and Tupac.
Okay.
And Tupac. Hey, listen, hey, Boss
like
Man said that before the show even started.
I like
I
that.
think that's a valid list. Now, don't nobody hate me for this. Don't nobody hate this. But I'm definitely replacing M with YB.
With Young Boy.
Oh my
That's
god.
that's a hot take, man.
Look, bro. Just cause, look, bro. Eminem is nice and there's no hate. He is definitely one of the greats. But if I got to pick 3, Tupac dead. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to start no beef about him.
Y'all killing me right now.
He's tough, but I'm saying YB, bro. Look what he's done in this little time. He's still got so much more time.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not the biggest YB fan, but to see the numbers that this guy has put up is definitely you can't argue with it. But with
I'm not gonna lie, that freestyle he put out, that freestyle went hard, bro. That shit was bad. I like that.
Facts.
With that being said, guys, I was gonna ask you guys. I mean, where do we find your music at? I mean, where do we go and look for that?
We're on everything: Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple.
And then we just look up the NAWFSIDE DJ, NAWFSIDE Nephew,
and NAWFSIDE Get Back.
And NAWFSIDE Get Back. That's right. We can't forget about Get Back.
Oh, that's our white boy. He's not here with us right now, but
absolutely. So and then Twitter handles. Y'all got Twitter, Snapchat, something else that somebody could read, or not Snapchat, but Twitter or something else that somebody could follow you guys on, see the new stuff.
Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. What you got for us, NAWFSIDE DJ?
My name is DJ 2RR. So it's DJ the number 2 2 R's.
NAWFSIDE 60.
NAWFSIDE Nephew 60. Well, listen, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for coming on to the show tonight. It was an absolute pleasure to have you guys on. Can't wait to listen to what you guys. I know DJ. I know you got an album dropping in April. And I know Nephew has been in the shop for a little bit working on some new music, and I can't wait. And I know everybody else can't wait either. So, but thank you guys so much. God bless y'all. Y'all have a wonderful evening tonight.
I appreciate you for
having me. I appreciate y'all. Good ups, man.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Y'all take it easy.
They sound like cool guys. Cool guys. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Really, really down to earth. Really, really down to earth. Especially for guys that get a lot of popularity out here. Just kind of the realness from them is refreshing. Nice to see.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep. I listened to some of their music today. I became a fan instantly. I like the flow. I like the way they put it on the beats. I listen to some of the slow down stuff. I fuck with it. I like it. I like it.
They definitely have some stuff on YouTube, guys.
But why
Definitely
me?
go check
Why
it
me
out.
over Tupac?
I know,
The
right?
fuck?
Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know if I could have agreed with that wholeheartedly, but I guess I see where he's coming from, being in that young generation.
It's
He
personal
definitely
taste.
is
Personal taste.
Yeah. He's definitely one of these new guys that'll probably make a name for himself over the years that are to come, of course.
Yeah, I get you. Well, guys, let's move forward, man. Shout out to NAWFSIDE and coming in, hanging out with us for a few minutes, getting to know them. Make sure you guys go subscribe to them on YouTube. Go check them out on Instagram, and let's push them forward as a community, guys, because they got some good stuff. But we got a lot of great stuff going on right now, football wise, man. The combine, the draft's coming up, so why not have a guy that actually went through the whole situation, played in the NFL against some of the greats, come in and join and talk with us. So let's go ahead and welcome in Mr. Rod Smith, NFL vet.
My man,
Carolina Panthers.
What's up, Rod?
Played for the Green
What's
Bay
up, guys? How you
Packers.
guys doing?
What up, brother? Good friend of the
How's
show.
everything?
We're good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. We Angeline's working on a video right now. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about that just briefly about the Dartmouth men's basketball team getting their joining the union today.
Yeah.
That's huge. I mean, like college football's about to change, boy. Woo. It's going to be
I forgot
crazy.
Yes, that's like one of the biggest stories right now. Yep, Dartmouth is now unionized.
That's crazy. Didn't even know about that till right now, so that's insane.
Is
I
that
forgot to
nuts?
bring
Hey, shout out to Rod, man. Friend of the show. We appreciate Rod, man. Good friend.
facts. Great.
So, Rod, I guess a big question for you. I mean, I see a couple of different helmets there in the back. I mean, who do you go for in the NFL? You got a team that you're a fan of officially?
You know, it's funny. I mean, I live in Charlotte, so I was the first Panther ever, technically, right? Expansion draft. So I'm a Panthers fan, but I keep my eyes on the Vikings. I'm from Minnesota, and then the teams I played for: Packers, Patriots. Big fans, and So I mean, to answer your question directly, Carolina Panthers would be my team if I had to take a squad. And then I watch out for my Packers and my Patriots as well, for sure.
We just don't talk about his Notre Dame fighting in front of him. We just don't.
Listen, we're all in the matter of fact, it's funny. I'm glad we had some extra time before the show here because Coach Freeman from Notre Dame had an hour-long private State of the Union address that he just did. So I was on that call. And it's funny, you see all Tim Brown, Rocket Ishmael, Jerome Bettis, all the guys in the Zoom call. We're all on silent, but listening to Coach Freeman talk about the state of the program and what we can do to help him, if anything. And so it was good. I mean, it's good to hear his voice, and he's fired up and like he should be, and they're recruiting their tails off, and Indy should slowly get better.
Well, I mean,
good. Well, hey, listen, we've been discussing the combine, the draft coming up. What's your opinion on some of these guys? Sam Hartman, Notre Dame. Well,
my biggest question is I mean, you're a Carolina fan. I mean, what's your thoughts on what they should do with their draft pick this year? I mean, how much are you in on guys like Bryce Young that had a questionable year as a starter, but at the same time, not a lot of weapons around the guy. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on what Carolina does with their draft?
Well, I mean, they give a lot of it away, right? Obviously, to get Bryce, So I mean, it's not as complicated as it normally is. I mean, listen, this team's got a lot of holes. Really needs to be built long term from the inside out. And it keeps me going back to something Bill Parcells said when I had a long conversation with him about drafting players, and he said, and it's so simple too, it's so crazy. You guys are gonna laugh when I say this, but he said a good big football player is better than a good small football player.
Yeah.
Right? That tells you everything you need to know about drafting. You know what I mean? It's funny, he had so many instincts about the game of football that have been validated by by supercomputers and the analytics now. I mean, the way he thought about special teams and turnovers were like, I mean, I'm telling you, he was talking to us about percentage of winning the game with a turnover and all that kind of stuff, like back in the early '90s. You know what I mean? Like it
Wow.
was crazy how far ahead of the game he was. But yeah, the Carolina Panthers need to get good big players, especially on offense. They have a chance. Defense isn't bad. We could use some help. Another guy up front, maybe one more linebacker. Secondary is not bad. But the offense, especially up front, the offensive line, just got to get better. I mean, Bryce, and obviously we need to find a legitimate number one wide receiver. We don't have one. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you got a couple of those young guys on the team that could. I like Marshall personally. I think that with a little bit more development, that he could absolutely be somebody that they could look to more often, especially with his size, like you were talking about. That guy brings the size at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But my next question for you, as far as the draft combine, you've been a rookie. I mean, you've gone through the draft. I mean, what's going to change for these guys coming from college into that NFL? I mean, what's going to be the biggest shock to these guys? I mean, I have no in track on this. I have no idea about this.
Well,
what's your thoughts?
That's a great question, and it's I mean, it's gonna sound like I'm beating my own chest here. I'm not, but like if you're coming from Alabama or Georgia or LSU or USC or Notre Dame or somewhere like that, if you're coming from one of those programs and you go to the league, like you're accustomed to play against guys that can run 4.2, 4.3. There's somebody on your team that can fly like that, right? I mean, I had Rocket Ishmael every day in practice, right? So when I got to the pros, guys were like, "Oh, Urban Fryer's so fast." I was like, "Is he? Is he? Oh, he's 4.3. Oh, really? They're like, really? I'm like, 4.3. I mean, listen, I covered 4.2 for the last 4 years in a row. 4.3 does nothing for me. You know what I mean? Like, where is he at? Let's do this. I mean, like, I'm dead serious. As a rookie, they were all laughing at me. I was like, where is this Urban guy they keep talking about? Let's go. One-on-ones. Let's go. They were like, really? I'm like, I mean, am I supposed to be scared? Like, I cover Rocket Richmond every day. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever with that. But so if you're playing at Alabama, and you're an offensive lineman and you're blocking those defensive linemen every day in practice, it translates a lot faster and better to the National Football League, right? Georgia, same thing. But the biggest difference for most players is the speed of the game. It happens. You feel a little bit like you're unable to read plays because it's happening so fast. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like a typical get off in college might be 4 seconds for the ball to come out. In the pros, it's 3 seconds. 3.28, something like that. 3.3. I mean, so like everything's happening fast. Everything's like a second faster, 25% faster. So you find
and that's
yourself
a big difference.
Oh my gosh, it's night and day. Yeah, absolutely. So rookies, a lot of rookies from programs spend their first year just trying to get adjusted to the speed of the game. In the more you're at a skill position, the greater that challenge is. It's greater for the wide receivers, quarterbacks, secondary guys than it is for the linemen, linebackers. It's not as big a jump at linebacker as it is at corner.
Okay.
So I got a question for you really quick. So good friends with Xavier Worthy on TikTok, Instagram. What do you think about what I was trash talking him a week prior to the draft combine, so now I feel like a little bit of an idiot. But what do you think of that performance he put in, that 4.21?
I mean, that's crazy. And this is gonna sound. This is gonna sound. I don't know how this is gonna sound, but like I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, okay, so can you play? You know what I mean? Like running 4.3 flat or 4.21. I mean, like is great. Don't get me wrong. And you can't you can't manufacture speed, right? Now my next question is like if I get you one-on-one with a guy and get you clear, can you catch it? Coming across the middle. You know what I mean? 35 yards down the field. Ball coming across, a little wind blowing. Ball blowing away from you. Can you adjust and make that grab? All that speed is absolutely worthless unless you can translate that into actual making plays, right? So, super impressive. I mean, it's speed like we've never seen before. Guys get faster and faster, and this is the fastest ever. I mean, props. I mean, I was a track guy growing up and all that, so like I have a lot of respect for guys that can pick them up and put them down, no doubt about it. It's funny. I'm rooting for him. I hope he balls. I do. I hope he.
Yeah.
I hope he. I hope he gets drafted, and and a lot of times, if you're in the wrong system in college, it's like this. I think Rocket Ishmael is the same guy as Tyreek Hill. He just wasn't used correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't in the right. He should have been running deep crossers every other play. I mean, like in Notre Dame instead of reverses. You know what I mean? So the way you deliver the ball, the kind of the way the coach conceives you in the offense or defense can have a huge effect on your effectiveness. So I'm hoping that this guy with all the speed gets put in a situation where they know how to actualize his worth, to use his skills. Because, like I said, the difference between Tyreek Hill and Rocket Ishmael is nothing. It's just being in the right place, the right situation, running the right routes to get you free. And I mean, Rocket was probably faster at that time. You know what I mean? So depends.
Yeah, because they didn't start doing the 40-yard dash until what 80, 89, 91, something like that.
Yeah. I was one of the first guys doing it.
So what's crazy is I look at it now and I look at the speeds from back then and I can't help but notice the increase in speed that we have seen over the years. I mean, you had 4 or 5 guys that were under 4.35 at cornerback this year, which I think is just I think it's insane because you look at these guys that are not even in their peak yet. We haven't even gotten, the specialized training that you're going to receive in the NFL, that one-on-one training that's going to boost that speed even more. With that being said, I mean, I know you had some thoughts on Xavier Worthy. What about some of these defensive backs that you've seen so far? I mean, what's your thoughts on a guy like Kool-Aid McKinstry, which I am big on? I like his physicality. I like his length. But I'm just a fan that watches. I mean, you've been around the sport a lot more than I have. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like Kool-Aid. I like Kool-Aid as well. And I have a very similar evaluation to yours. Is that I love a guy that's physical, that looks to play the number one receiver, that's looking for the best player to fight against, right? And that physical part of the game is something that you can take with you no matter rain or shine, whether your coverage is on point that day or not on point that day. You can make a decision if you have it in your heart to be physical and be aggressive and be nasty, and be combative, and be aggressive, and assertive. Like that's just an attitude. If you bring that to the stadium, you bring that to the practice, you bring that to the grass every single day, you're going to get better faster than the person that's not as comfortable being physical. So that's the thing I really like him about him as corner. Same guys is, I can't remember his name. What's my guy's name at with Seattle?
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon. Oh man, love his game. Are you kidding me? Like he's trying to kill everybody. Like every play, standing over dudes and all that. Like I love that. But that's not an act. Like that's what he really feels. Like he's really trying to dominate everybody. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
it looks like he's acting. It's not an act. Like he's for real trying to like bust everybody's face. And I love his game. And long answer to a short question, but when you see a cornerback, I mean, obviously, like ideally you want them to have great hands, right? A corner that's played a lot of snaps at wide receiver over time was going to give you a higher result than a guy like me with steel hands. You know what I mean? Like if you really want a corner that has wide receiver hands, they will end up giving you a higher result over time on average. Now you can get some knuckle draggers like me. You can't catch the ball with a darn. Play special teams, tackle everybody, physical as hell, never make a little mistake, and you can put me out there and I can play fine. But if I'm looking at corners, I want speed and I want guys that can catch it. I mean, guys that can locate that can locate the ball and catch it, because those guys will relate to deep balls better and relate to being able to knock down more balls. It just makes it more effective.
So it can't.
Yeah, but you got Brett Favre one time, so you got some kind of good hands.
I mean, if you hit me in the chest with it, yeah, I can catch it. No doubt about that.
So,
Peter, you got any questions?
I actually wanted to ask you, what's your feeling, and how do you think they're gonna do with Notre Dame? So I'm giving you 2 names: Ryan Clarkson and Kennedy Brian Urlacher's son.
Yeah, I mean it's it's exciting. It really is. It's good to be back in the mix again. I mean, we are a top 10 team, not yet, but we're getting better, and we're getting some of the guys that I played with and against. We're getting their kids now are starting to show up on campus and all that, and it's really cool. I mean, I don't feel that old, but it's wild to see that.
It makes me feel old because I'm like, I watched your dads play football, and it's like what? You guys already.
Welcome to old age, Peter.
Joey Porter's son's playing for the Steelers. I'm like, God. I'm like, Joey Porter, like, son plays for the Steelers. I'm like, Jesus, man.
So hardest question for you. You're the Chicago Bears. You're the general manager. What are you doing with the pick?
I think that, unless the people that have watched Justin Fields on a day-to-day basis in practice feel like that he is underperforming in games due to lack of coaching or support, then you keep him. From what I've seen outside looking in, I think Justin Fields can still develop into a very good pro quarterback. I actually have no doubts about that if he's in the right system. Chicago's not the right system for him. They don't have enough resources offensively around him to give him the kind of treatment he's going to need to develop into a star, a franchise level quarterback. He's got to go somewhere else. Which means you got to take Caleb and hope that he's able to almost self-coach. I'm hoping that's not the case, but until Chicago puts a quarterback coach around him, an offensive coordinator around him that show us some results, we got to go with what we've seen so far, right? So, if you're Chicago, you trade Fields, get as much as you can from him, hope you can get a second rounder from Atlanta, and then draft offensive line, or they need help at rush end as well, in corner, to be honest. But
I know we
in that order.
Oh, it's not even a question. Like, we need help everywhere right now.
I tell Peter all the time that you call the Lord from above and have him come down and play quarterback for them because that's the only thing that's going to save them.
and Jesus won't get good coaching. You know what I mean? Like, you kidding me?
Steele, what you got?
Man, I like hearing you talk about the defensive backs just because I know that's primarily what you played and man, my biggest question for you, you talked about ball skills. I mean, who in the NFL do you see right now that you're like, that cornerback right there, that's what I'm looking for. I mean, those kind of ball skills, that kind of coverage, that's what I'm looking for. I mean, who are your guys that you see in the NFL that exhibit that?
Listen, when he's healthy, Ramsey's still a monster. Bump and run, can play off, wildly intelligent, studies like crazy. Like, he really is a problem. It's funny. I was thinking about doing a video. Actually, I started working on one about covering Randy Moss. And, the first thing that you've got to think about at corner when you walk in the field is that, first of all, the situational awareness, right? Okay, like, what's going on? Am I a new cornerback coming in the game? Offensive coordinator is probably going to attack the new guy. What's it going to be? Probably 3-step drop or a deep ball. Okay, well, ball's on the 34-yard line. Ball's in the far hash. Okay, so we can eliminate the go route because Randy Moss isn't going to run a go route because the back of the end zone is 44 yards away. So you can eliminate the go route. I got a post safety. We're playing cover 3, so I'm going to eliminate the post route. The ball's in the far hash. The ball's in the far hash. So Randall Cunningham's a good quarterback, but he's not Brett Favre or Elway or Marino, so he's probably not going to throw any out cuts from the hash, across the hash, all the way to the outside. Probably not going to do that. So in my mind, and it happens in like 5 seconds. So you walk on the field, you look around, and you're like, okay, go route, not happening. Out route, not happening. Post route, scratch that. So what are we looking at? We're looking at a hitch, a slant, a curl, or an in route. That's it. If it's anything else, I'll react to it the best I can. But I'm going to play those routes hard, and then if it's anything else, I'm going to react to it. So that's what we did. And sure enough, Moss ran a curl route in the first place in the game. It started in corner. Ran a curl route. I ran up and tackled it right away. And the last thing I'll say is since we're having a corner conversation real quick, is I always had a tackling plan for the number one running back and both starting wide receivers. You have to, because
Interesting.
you have to have. It made me a better player having an idea in my mind before the game started how I wanted to approach tackling the person. Okay, so if it's Randy Moss, you turn the power down to 0, and you turn the accuracy up to 100. Okay, everything's a bunt. You're not hitting any home runs. Everything with Randy Moss is just get your bat on the ball, get your hand on his leg, lace his legs up, and spin and get him on the ground. Because if we miss, because if you turn the power up to 10 and the accuracy up to 90 and you miss because you're trying to get power on that tackle, guess what? Right? There's nobody on the planet Earth that can tackle Randy. If the corner misses him, who's gonna run over there and tackle him? What? Guys running 4-2. He's gone. And then if it's Chris Carter, you want to play Chris Carter as close as possible, and you want to hit him as hard as possible, because if you try to tackle Chris soft, he will break your tackle. He'll stiff arm you. He'll run through your tackle. You have to hit Chris Carter. You've got to give Chris Carter some force. But Randy Moss, you don't have. He doesn't. He's not anywhere. He's not like Chris. It's opposites. So you have to have a plan in your mind, like, how I'm going to tackle this guy. So when Randy Moss catches the ball, you're trying to, like, get his legs, lace him up, get him on the ground. Chris Carter, you're trying to, like, bang him, knock him back a little bit, and try to get his legs up. So it's there's a lot going into that you're thinking about, and it's funny. After you get to like, I don't know, maybe like beginning of my third year, like, all this happens in about 5 seconds. You walk out, you're like, ball position, okay, down in distance, okay, Randy Moss, all right, can't run the go route, you eliminate the outcuts, eliminate the routes, like that happens like that in your mind. Yeah.
And so so these kind of nuances are kind of the things that these new cornerbacks face that they haven't really had to face as far. I mean, I'm sure they've seen it at some level at the college level where they're starting to recognize some of those things, but as fast as you're saying that it's happening, you got to go right now. As soon as you get out of that, as soon as the offensive breaks huddle, you got to start breaking these things down right now. So that's what you're talking about as far as one of the bigger changes going into the NFL. Make those thoughts happen quicker, because you need it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It becomes it's funny, in college, the game is like 50% physical, 50% mental. In the pros, the game is 80% mental, 20% physical. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but it's 100% true. Like everybody can kind of run. All the starters.
Yeah.
I mean, like everybody, right. The slow guy's running 4.5, but he's got Jerry Rice speed, so he catches it. You can't catch him. Like how come Jerry Rice? You never see Jerry Rice get caught from behind, right? He ran 4.57 at the combine, and not once. I mean, never in what he's caught 23,000 yards receiving. I've never seen him caught from behind. So, some guys have that, like, game speed like that. You know what I mean? Like, you get out there and you look at the stats. This guy ran 4.5, and you get out there and he's running by you. You know what I mean? Like, it's different with pads on in the game. No doubt about that.
So we have a question for you in the chat. I normally don't do this, but this was such a good question. I wanted to hear it. It's from Drew. It says, what was the best formation you disliked playing the most?
Defensive formation I hate. Well, one thing I hated is this is funny. It's like a pet peeve of mine. I hate when we show blitz and play blitz. All right, if we're gonna play cover 0, and the linebackers show it too early, and they walk up to the line of scrimmage and show it, and now the quarterback knows. Oh, Dan Marino's like, oh, check. X-wing 47, X-wing 47, check. Everybody starts shifting, and I'm like, what the H? Because listen, not because I'm the guy that got exposed. You know what I'm saying? Like now they're gonna max protect it, and they're gonna like, oh, we got Rod and Irving 1-on-1 for the game winner in Miami. Marino's like, oh, check. Listen, I mean, and then ran a slant and go on me for a touchdown for the game winner. What the hell, man? Listen, if my linebackers doesn't show the blitz, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Man? You put me on blast. You know what I'm saying? My own linebackers, right. What are you doing?
Right. So before we let you, I know you're a busy man. I know it's late. I know you got things to do. I'm gonna open up to my two guys here. I got one more question for you. In your opinion, The best cornerback available in the draft. Who would you take?
You know what? I'll probably take Kool-Aid. You know, I like Kool-Aid. That's my guy. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, um, having played against the level of competition that's available in practice every day in Alabama hardens you. You know what I mean? Like pay close attention to who that person is playing against on a day-to-day basis in practice, because that's what gets you right. I mean, I cannot put into words how much it helped having Rocket Ishmael across from me every day, all day in practice. So when I got to the league, like I said, I was like, bring it on. You know, nobody's fast to me. Like I've been covering the guy who should have won the Heisman Trophy for the last 3 years every day in practice. So so a guy who played at Alabama, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Listen, the competition they played against their whole lives has been just amazing, and that makes you a better player, no doubt about it. A faster transition to the pros.
Peter?
A question that I got for you. Who was harder to guard? Marvin Harrison Sr. or T.O.?
I mean, very different threats, but probably. I mean, for me, To, because the little guys didn't give me as big of problems as bigger guys did. Because my bump and run game especially was very physical. At the line of scrimmage, get my hands on you, even up the field, get my hands on you, push you off the route, lean on guys, get them off the route, run them out of bounds, like push guys around. But when I played against Michael Irvin, Chris Carter, Sterling Sharp, the bigger guys, To, like I can't do that. That doesn't work. You know what I mean? When you're 185 pounds, 5'11" against To, you're not going to push him off the curl. You're just not, right? So you might get a stalemate, maybe. And the thing about those guys is, which it's funny. Even to this day, talking about it, like, still like causes me like angst in my throat. I don't know why, but it just like I don't know why this is, but the big guys, when they're paired with an elite level quarterback, I swear to you, they're always open. I mean, if Michael Irvin's running a curl route on you, or Teal's running a curl route on you, and you know it's a curl, it's 2nd and 10, it's what they do out of split backs, formation into the boundary, your Teal's in the bottom of the numbers. This is where they run the curl route. Like, it is like 1 out of 2 plays is going to be the curl route. If the quarterback takes a 5-step drop, it's curl route. So like, you're playing the curl. You're not even backpedal. You're standing right between the quarter, and To comes up. He turns. He leans on you, puts one big paw like this, and the ball goes right to that paw.
What?
And he's so big. I mean, and this is what I'm saying. Like, a big physical receiver with an elite level quarterback, because Joe Montana would throw that ball like low and outside. I mean, and there's nothing you can do about it. You played it route perfectly. You saw it curl. You dove inside. The ball would go low and outside. And he'd catch it, he could catch the ball and fall to the ground. Gain a 12. And you're like, damn it, I can't play it better than that. And he just got 12 yards. And the thing is, like, they're so good that like they can throw it over and over and over. No matter how you play it, they throw it to opposite. And when there's a really big physical guy, like Marvin can't do that. Marvin comes and runs a curl. If I run the curl, I can block him off. And when the ball comes, I can lean on him. But like with To, he puts that meat on you like this, and you're stuck. You know what I mean? And it's a first down. It sucks.
Okay.
So I guess that leads into my next question, man. With that being said, who's a guy in today's league where you're like, man, and this is just from a guy that I'm a little bit younger. I'm 27, so I've seen tape on a lot of the greats, but I never got to watch them live. But from what I've seen, I would say that wide receivers as a whole have probably got a little bit better skill wise at the position. And my first question, wondering if you agree with that. And my second question, who's the guy that in this league that you would just hate to guard? I mean, you see him on TV every Sunday, and you're like, man, that guy would be an absolute nightmare. I would hate to guard this guy.
You know, it's funny. A guy whose game I've really seen grow over the years is CD. CD Lamb's the problem. He's fast. He's really fast. He's
Don't do
explosive.
that. Don't do that, Rod. Don't hype him
Cowboys.
up. He's a Dallas Cowboy fan. Don't do that. Don't do that,
Oh
bro.
God.
Come on.
I do. It's just like,
Hey
Oh,
man,
no.
he had me beaming up as soon as he said CD.
Right on. Well,
No, but
listen.
please continue your thought though.
Listen, and I don't want to like the Cowboys. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm not. But um, CeeDee Lamb's a problem. The kid out in Seattle, he's a problem. Like he's one of those guys that's so big that if he gets a good throw, there's not much you can do about it. To be honest, you know what I mean. You're hoping for a bad throw. Um, but yeah, those are the two guys that jump out at me. I mean, the rookie with the Rams, the two had a great year.
Oh, Puka, yeah, absolutely.
Puka had
He
a
was
great
absolutely.
Puka had a great
He
year.
was crazy for me. I didn't expect that kind of guy to come out and play the way that he did, and I don't think anybody did. But that was a wonderful story to follow throughout the NFL season. I'm really happy for that guy. Shout out Puka Nacua. You did a fantastic job this season.
And I think for him, and this happens sometimes in the game, where at BYU he never had an elite quarterback, right?
Right.
So he's been fighting all these years, like trying to get open and happen to get wide open to catch a ball, right? So he gets to the pros, and all of a sudden he's open by like a yard, and Stafford can just hit him boop, right in the chest. He's like, "Hey, wait a minute! Like I don't even have to get that open." He's like, "No, man, listen, give me a window like this. Give me a foot by foot window, moving 30 miles an hour. I'll hit it every time." Stafford's like, "I got you, dude." He's just dotting him. So like, I can imagine for Booker, he must have been like, "Mom, this is the easiest thing in the world." Like all I have to do is get open by like 6 inches, and he hits me with the ball. I'm not even open. In college, in college, I'm completely covered up. But he just throws it low and away, first down. Hey, nice catch. I mean, he must have been literally like calling his friends, going, "You cannot believe how good." Because I mean Stafford is like he's in that elite category. When he's playing well, man, he's a problem. I mean, like he's
I
as good
agree.
as anybody. He's as good as he's as good as Mahomes when he's on.
He's in my top 10. I have him in my top 10.
So, real quick, 2 quick questions, and then we'll let you get out of here. I know you got a busy life. And by the way, Mr. Smith, I just want to extend my gratitude. It's been fantastic to hear your insight into the NFL.
He's a good friend. Make sure you listen before you ask. If you guys do not follow Rod on TikTok, it's some of the best sports show live you can go to. It's amazing. I love going in there, saying hi, what's up, sending some gifts. But if you're not listening to the knowledge that comes out of this man, you're missing out.
Well, like I said, it's been a pleasure just listening to the things.
Likewise, guys.
Say.
Good friend. Second time on the show, too. Second time on the show. We appreciate it.
Two quick questions that I have for you.
Go ahead.
I
budgeted to 6:30, so we're good.
So the 2 quick questions I had for you were what about CD for you is the most dynamic? Is it his hands? Is it his route running? Is it what about you as a former NFL defensive back that stands out to you that you're like, man, that is why that it would be a nightmare to guard him? And then secondly, because I'm a Cowboys fan, I mean, what are your thoughts on a guy like Dak Prescott? You watch a guy that plays really well throughout the season, and then for whatever reason, seems like he struggles in the playoffs. I mean, what are your thoughts as an NFL player? I mean, is he to you as a quarterback?
Well, for CeeDee Lamb, he's explosive like a little guy, but he's tall. So he's got a huge catch radius, and he's got great hands. So if a guy's got great speed, usually he doesn't have that wide of a radius to catch the ball in. So you can kind of play between him and the quarterback. But with CeeDee Lamb, he's got such a wide radius because he's so tall, and he's got great hands. So he's got this super wide catch radius, but with all the speed makes it really tough. So you almost have to like pick half of them to deny, and then if the ball's in their half, you just tackle it and move on. Like that's a bad place to be. It's like we talked about earlier with the big guys catching the ball on you when you play it perfect, but they still catch the ball on you. Like that's how it is with CeeDee Lamb. You almost have to like take away half his body, and if the quarterback can throw it on the other half of his body, you go, man, one for the bad guys, tackle and keep it moving. Which sucks, but that's just how you got to play it. As far as Dak's concerned, listen, I think Dak is, for me, he's like a 15-10 guy. And if you can find somebody better, knock yourself out. But that's tough to do. I mean, you're talking about getting one of the 10 best guys on the planet Earth, and that's not happening. So, so you roll with them. And listen, when they won 12 games for 3 years in a row, like, how bad could he be? You know what I mean? And he played his tail off last year. And to me, and he's a quieter guy, and he like takes the heat. And I respect that. He has integrity. But like, let's be honest. If you're running double slants week 3 and you're running it in the playoffs and it gets picked off because they finally read the fact that you always throw it to the outside guy, like that's on the coaches. Like you got to self-scout yourself well enough to say, hey, listen, guys, okay, we run our back across, we run our number 2 receiver across, and we run the in route behind it in cover 2 literally every single game. What do you think is going to happen in the playoffs? I mean, it's playoff football now, right? So everything's up a notch. Like you have to self-scout going into the playoffs and say, okay, what are the things that we do best? And is there a way for somebody to read them? You got to self-scout your defensive coaches have to self-scout your offense, and your offense has to look at your defense and say, what would I do against you, knowing you guys as well as I do? And then you have to fiddle with it enough so that you can't be it's not so repetitive. It's so funny because the first year, my third year in the league with the Patriots, with Bill Parcells, we make the playoffs, right? The first year we go like, Bill gets there. We were 2-14, the worst team in the league. My rookie year, we were awful. Parcells comes in. We draft Drew Bledsoe. We went like 6-10 or something, but we won the last 4 games in a row, something like that. So then the next year we make the playoffs. Okay. Bill Parcells that week before the playoffs did on that Monday, had the whole team come in and did a self-scout. Bill Parcells himself did the self-scout and said, hey, Rod, here's every player for 5 minutes. Hey, Rod, here's the film on you. Here's how they're going to attack you. Here's how I would attack you. Here's the film. Figure out how to stop that. And then look at the film, all the routes where I got beat on, and he's like, you got to figure out a way to keep them from doing this to you again, because they're going to be doing this to you. He did that with every single player, every single starter on the team. Got a videotape of their own self-scout. So we went in the game against Cleveland, like I knew what they were trying to do. Like it's funny, it's funny that the third play of the game, they ran exactly what Bill Parcells said they tried to run on me. He said they're going to try to tag with the corner route early in the game. And sure enough, third play of the game, here comes the corner route. And I knocked it down. But I would not have. I'd have got beat had I not got that thing from Bill Parcells. So all that to say is the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff didn't prepare them. They were getting beat on stuff that they've done all year long the same way. You know what I mean? Like Dak's like that. Dak's that's what I always throw the ball to the number 2 guy. We've done it all year long. No one ever told me not to do that. I mean, I'm not saying Dak has has no capability, but I honestly, I put that on the coaches. I swear to you, they've got to get the team ready to go better than that.
It's a great take. Love hearing it from you.
I agree. Ron, we appreciate you coming on the show, Smith, hanging out with us.
Yeah, God bless you, man.
Thank you so much
for coming on.
Oh, well, listen, thank you guys for having me. And anytime
you want to come hang out, you're more than welcome.
Yeah,
we love it. We love it. We appreciate you. I love you, brother. Take care. Be easy. Say hi to the wife for us, and go Panthers.
You got that right. Good seeing you guys. I appreciate you. All right. Thanks for having me.
That was
awesome guy.
That was fantastic. It was a really fantastic time. But no time like the present. I know we've been talking draft. Let's dive right into our draft predictions for this year. Boss man, I know you've had a little bit of a switch between Atlanta and the Buccaneers. I know that you're more of a Buccaneers fan now. So with that being said,
I went back home. Man. After I'm friends with Brad. I'm friends with Jermaine, friends with a lot of Buccaneer greats that have gone through, and just the phone calls and the texts about stuff going on with the NFL, and always getting bashed by those guys for being a Falcons fan and switching was just, I couldn't take it no more. Like, these guys, I looked up to them as great friends and role models as a kid, and then just now being friends with them like Rod. It's just, man, it's time to go home. That's all I gotta say.
Fair enough, brother. I mean, what
it's weird. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, man. I moved to Atlanta. I wanted to support the local team, but like, Tampa is just, that's my heart and soul, bro. It killed me to walk away. But
I mean,
I'm
fair enough.
back.
I mean,
I'm back. Fire those
me
cannons, baby.
personally, I'm always a loyal fan, but I mean, you do what you do. But no, I'm just giving you a hard time. Mark, I was wondering, I mean, what do you think we got going on with the Buccaneers draft? I mean, what do you think? I mean,
Bro,
what's
the biggest thing I want to say with Tampa Bay right now, we're losing a lot of key players. Antoine Winfield, we just franchise tagged him. Don't know what's going to happen with him. Ryan Jensen retiring. We don't know what's going on with Baker. Mike Evans is getting old. We don't really have a great run game. We're losing linebackers, Devin White, Levante David. Like, Tampa is falling apart right now, and it's sad to see that we're finally going to go back to being the Yuccaneers again. But everybody's got to rebuild. But if I'm Tampa Bay, and I'm a huge fan, and I talk to a lot of guys in the organization that are involved with the day-to-days. I'm big with Tampa football, and I'm big with pro athletes. You guys know this. I've shown you screenshots.
Yes.
If I'm Tampa Bay with the 26th overall pick, I've got to take a quarterback. You got to take a quarterback. You got to trade up. You got to move. We need a guy for the future. We don't have one. Baker's not the future. He's not. He's a good quarterback. He played decent last year, but look at Geno. Geno played good a year ago. This year played like crap. I think Baker's going to go back to being Baker. We got to trade up. If I'm Tampa Bay, I'm trading up to pick 12, and I'm taking that pick, and I'm taking either. Oh God, I hate to say this. Bo Nix or Michael Penix. I'm taking one of those two guys.
I mean, listen, watching Bo Nix throw here in the combine, I'm not super upset about what I've seen. Now, obviously, decision making is something that we'll have to see preseason and the first couple of weeks of his career. But I wouldn't be terribly upset if Bo Nix was a guy that you guys got. Now, I don't know if he'll be available by that time. What pick do the Bucks have? I know they're
They're 26 in the pick right now.
That's
why I said you got to trade up.
I don't know that
you got to trade up.
Drops that deep. I really don't know. I mean,
you got to trade. You got to trade up.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're gonna have to make that happen. But if they have
either that or we take an offensive lineman. We need somebody to protect Baker.
That's a no-brainer for me, especially watching him throw. He's obviously got the arm talent. You've got an incredible wide receiving core out there in Tampa. I feel Chris Godwin, very underappreciated route runner, and they've got a flurry of tight ends on that team that I feel that can make plays down the field. So
here's the bad thing, bro. Our head coach is a defensive-minded guy. So after talking with Brad and Jermaine and Martine, he called me a bitch the other day. Whatever. Props to you, Martine Gramatica, all-time leading kicker. But everybody thinks that we're going defense, and I understand that with Todd Bowles, but we got to have a franchise quarterback. We don't have one. Either that or go all in on Kirk Cousins. Like, sell the ship. We got to have a franchise guy.
So, I mean, I think that's a great take. And with that being said, talking about franchise quarterbacks, I mean, Pete, we've got one of the biggest quarterback controversies that we've had in a long time as far as whether or not your Bears should draft a guy like Caleb Williams, who showed a lot of promise throughout this college football season, or sticking with a guy that Justin Fields, who has, I mean, in all honesty, underperformed. I mean, throughout his time as a Chicago Bear. Now, whether that's because of his lack of weapons or lack of creativity on the offensive side, I mean, what are your thoughts going into this draft? I mean, what do you think they're going to do?
Okay.
What is Justin Fields now? 7-31 or something like that all time?
7-31. Now, listen to all of my Chicago fans, the fan base. Listen, we love Fields. But it's time to move on and draft
Interesting.
Caleb Williams. And if I'm being
That's big.
trade
That's what she said.
and trade Justin Fields. It's time.
So what are you letting Fields go for? I mean, realistically, because I think we can all agree here that Fields, for me, I don't feel that Fields is first round draft pick material. So with that being said, I mean, what are you letting him go for? Are you letting him go for, veteran wide receivers, veteran offensive linemen? Are you going for, third and fourth picks? I mean, what do you got?
Personally, with our draft picks, I would either go with a second and a third because we do not have a second this year. We already have 2/3.
Okay.
If we can get another third from them, we have 3 picks in the 3rd round. And that'd be insanity. Because the thing is, if you guys realize, the best picks or the best players that come out of drafts is basically the 3rd and 4th round picks.
I heard a crazy trade offer today on the radio. A crazy trade offer. And I wanted to bring it up tonight. I didn't want to talk about it on TikTok. I just want to talk to my 2 guys about it. It was the New England Patriots trading for the 1st overall pick and Justin Fields. And what they offered was crazy. Crazy. So they offered their defensive lineman that went crazy, or the linebacker.
Done?
Yeah. Yeah. Plus 3 first-round picks back-to-back years.
Now listen, if that is
so Judon, 3 first-round picks for their 1st overall pick and Justin Fields.
See, now listen, if that is a legitimate offer, I mean, I don't see a universe where you don't accept that, because with that being, I feel like you could get so much over the next couple of years that trade seems almost impossible for you to say no to. You've got Matthew Judon, who is arguably in his prime right now, where he's getting to the quarterback. He plays that spot well. He's aggressive. He's strong. He's fast. He's all of that what you need at a linebacker. I don't see them saying no to that. So if that was a legitimate trade and they denied that, or if they're taking their time with that,
I heard it on the radio, flicking through ESPN sports channels on satellite radio. I was like, dude, what? That's a good trade. Not only does New England get Justin Fields, they can take Marvin Harrison.
All right, but also,
so they seal up both what they need right there. That would be crazy.
Also, I'm seeing a lot of comments of Caleb being a diva and bad attitude. Listen, I've been bringing that up for the longest time. But listen, when you see such a great talent who's literally last year he had no defense and no offensive line to save his life. And Caleb had nothing. And
but here's the problem with that, Peter, is my problem with that is that's what Justin Fields deals with right now. He's got nothing. I mean, that defense, it started playing better towards the end of the year. Absolutely. After y'all made that trade with Washington, it started getting much better. But I don't know if it's at that level yet where we can say that they're top 15. And on top of that, I mean, the offensive weapons, I mean, guys, we're talking about number 1 in DJ Moore, who I think is great, by the way. But doubling DJ Moore, it takes him away. And then what do we have from there? That's my biggest concern. Is you bring in a guy like Caleb. I mean, what is he going to do that's so much different than what Justin Fields was doing?
I personally think with these picks, I think we go quarterback and then we go wide receiver. We go wide receiver and get possibly a player that I think is actually, this is going to sound insane, but I've been watching him all year. and I think he's better than Marvin Harrison. Adunze. Rome Adunze from
Listen,
Washington.
I won't argue, the skill of that position, because I think the route running and the separation clearly goes to Marvin Harrison. But I will say that Rome, I think that he brings a level of physicality that you need in the NFL. I actually think that he would be, wherever he goes, he's going to be a fantastic pickup, because I think his physicality and his hands in general are fantastic. I think that guy could be a star in the NFL. So I think that would actually be a great pick for your Chicago Bears, especially to go right on side of somebody like DJ Moore, who is complete opposite, speed, route running kind of a guy. I mean, to add Rome on the other side of him, somewhere where this guy's physical. If he makes a tackle or if he breaks a tackle, he might take it to the end zone. I mean,
I have also seen a lot of mock drafts recently. Bossman will be a lot of happy about this.
That's a good take.
And possibly Brock Bowers coming to the Chicago Bears.
listen, Brock Bowers on a team that has a flurry of tight ends already, that I feel like the organization believes in already. I mean, if you want my take personally, I mean, I think Cole Kmet is fine at tight end. I think he is. I think he's a great tight end. He's a good security safety net for any quarterback that's back there. He catches the ball well. He runs routes well. He doesn't fumble or make mistakes often. I like him. He's a very consistent guy. So with that being said, if the coaching
guys, we
lost some technical difficulties.
Sorry,
he's
guys,
back.
about that.
He's back. Dropping back. Bro, like my opinion about the Bears is, bro, I say draft Caleb Williams at number 1 overall. And here's why. Because if they take him, how much value does he have as a player? Even if they don't trade the pick on before the draft, if they take him as just the player during the draft, you know how many trade offers they're going to get?
So many.
Oh my god! Like he adds value just trading him, because people want him so bad.
One of the trades that I've been hearing for over 5-6 months is possibly Max Crosby and multiple first-round picks and second-round picks for that first overall pick. The Raiders.
I'm not mad at it. Do a sound check right quick, Stilo.
Say it again.
You are good.
Sound check. Sound check.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
cool.
What were you saying now? About Cole Kmet?
You know what? To be honest, guys, I kind of lost my train of thought here. So please continue. Well, actually, I'd love to dive into the Cowboys draft, because I feel that there are maybe some there are some hurdles to jump here, because obviously we're negative in cap space currently. So and I know the cap will increase, but so the big thing is that I feel it's going to be another year where we're going to look to a lot of rookies, right? And the biggest one for me is losing Tyron Smith. I feel like another guy that we should absolutely bring in is JC Latham. I've seen him play a very physical role at Alabama. You guys know that that team is a physical team. They're a run the football team first. And I think we need to bring back that physicality to the Dallas Cowboys offense. I mean, you bring in a guy like Latham and then, put him right next to Tyler Smith. That's a great left side of your offensive line.
Shout out Tyler. Good friend. Shout out Tyler. Won't come on the podcast, though.
But with that being said, I mean, that's big for me. Now, at the same token, I feel like another concern is finding somebody that's a good second to CeeDee Lamb, because as you guys heard, CeeDee Lamb is a terror all over the field in all kinds of ways. He runs good routes. He's got great speed, and he's got a huge catch radius. So seeing him
You
come
just
off
got
of
blown up by Rod Smith about CD, and
listen,
you just can't.
well, I mean,
You
regardless
ate
of
that
Rod
shit up like
Smith,
Kobayashi. You were just like,
listen.
Dude,
Regardless of
he was
what Rod Smith said about CD, it doesn't change the fact that CD had a career year. Not only a career year, he had a franchise year. As far as, you know, beating out a guy like Michael Irving. I mean, those stats have stood in Dallas Cowboys history for a long time, and CD comes in there and he just absolutely destroys them. And I think that that's big. But at the same time, I feel like finding a second option it's imperative, because teams are going to come in knowing, hey, CD is a guy that we got to stop him. It can't be him, right? So for me, looking at the draft, I'm also looking at guys like Keon Coleman, Xavier Worthy, guys that will be available later in the draft in that first round that I feel could absolutely still make a difference. Because like Rod Smith said, you know, Xavier Worthy showed great speed, but teams might still have a question about, what are we talking about when we're talking about hands? You know, can this guy catch the ball when it comes to going down the field? And it is a big question, but that is a risk that I'd be willing to take with a guy with 4.21 speed. I mean, we're talking about Tyreek Hill speed. It's game changing.
What about you actually let off one name that I actually think would be a perfect fit for that offense. Troy Franklin from Oregon.
Franklin.
Full fit in that offense.
Interesting. Because, you know, I was more thinking about
good wide receiver.
Really?
See, and you can always go wide receiver too, but I feel like a lot of fans think that, well, a wide receiver, a number one wide receiver needs a number two wide receiver. But I've always been a proponent of adding any offensive weapon that kind of takes the eyes away from a star player. I could see them going for guys, you know, as a halfback. I know that Rod Smith is a big Notre Dame fan. I could see them taking somebody like Audric Estime from Notre Dame as a running
real
back.
hot take for you.
Well, I mean, and obviously not a first round pick, but he'll be there rounds 2 through 5. I feel.
What does Dallas really need right now?
For me, the Dallas's biggest need is a red zone running back. Now, as far as red zone running backs go in the first round, I think they're gone before Dallas gets to them. In all honesty,
Need a linebacker.
I think Dallas takes Blake Corum.
See, but my problem with Blake Corum is while his speed and his agility makes a difference, we've got speed. I think that if you ask most people that watch the NFL, they'll say that Dallas has speed. There's not a question of Dallas's speed. But when it comes to
he runs a 4.5, bro. But like, look at how he plays with a great offensive line. I'm not gonna say Dallas has the best offensive line in football, but it's one of the best. And you add Blake Corum to that conversation with, bro. Once he gets past the front seven, he's gone.
Yeah,
like nobody can tackle.
Well, I mean, no, you're
That's
not
an
wrong.
Ezekiel Elliott.
That's a great take. It's just that I don't know, because we said the same thing about Deuce Vaughn when we took him last year. We were like, man, if we can just get him into the, into the
Deuce
secondary.
Was small, bro.
He is small, but Blake Corum is of a smaller stature himself, and he is strong. But you're looking at linebackers that are they're stronger. I'm just gonna say that flat out. They are. And it's going to be a different breed when he's facing guys that can run that 4.6, 4.5 at the linebacker position and meet you at the spot that those college linebackers could not meet you at. And that's my concern for Blake Corum. Now, I think that he's great, but I think that he also needs a pretty good offensive line in order for him to be effective. Because once he gets into the secondary, you're right. The guy is incredibly difficult to tackle. Incredibly difficult.
This comment is good.
Oh. One is a mini.
No, that's a good
before we
point.
wrap this up, let's give it one take. You're on the board. It's your pick, number one. You got the first pick for your team. Who you taking? Final, no decisions. This is who you're going with.
22, at 22, if he's still available, I'm taking Keon Coleman. I think he adds a physicality out there at wide receiver for us. And I know a lot of people are going with the tackle, but me personally, I think that the way Dallas's offense is built about getting the ball out quick, that West Coast style offense, getting that ball out as fast as you can, I don't think that having a superior offensive line is at one of their top priorities. I mean, you need guys that can protect your quarterback for 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds. Just can you keep the guy in front of you for a couple of seconds so Dak can get the ball off? Because if that's the case, then I want to go physicality and speed, and I've got CeeDee Lamb already. I'd like another guy that's physical enough to catch a slant route against the linebacker, or taking a hit against the linebacker, rather. And for me, that guy is Keon Coleman.
Peter?
Boss, I'm actually have you go next because I'll go last. I have.
Okay. If he's available, I know Mike Evans is getting old. Chris Godwin deals with a lot of injuries, and he's my boy. I'm going to have to go with Xavier Worthy. I would love to see Xavier Worthy in a Tampa Bay Buccaneer jersey.
Adding some real speed, something that Tampa Bay lacked during the season was some speed down the field. I mean, if you had Baker Mayfield's, aggressiveness with Xavier Worthy's speed, I think you could see a lot of shots taken down the field next year for Tampa for sure.
Let me say this before Peter goes. If you're new to the live, if you're just coming in, make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday night. We're more than welcome. We love interacting with our people, and appreciate all the newcomers that have come in tonight. So, Peter.
Okay, guys. Listen, Chicago Bears fans, it's time to say goodbye to Justin and start the new generation of Caleb Williams. And guys,
Question really quick, Peter. Why are you talking so deep? And then it's all pitch black. It's like a scary hot take.
Trying to get
It's scary. It's like it's time to say goodbye.
Listen,
and then it's all we don't see anything but a black figure.
Listen. Believe in Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles is doing the right thing. Let's get him another weapon. Let's work on the offensive line. Let's get some more defensive front people. That's what we need. It is time. We are sick of coming in last. This is coming from a diehard Bears fan, Bears front office. Listen to this right now. Take Caleb. Take Roma Dunze. And listen to this, guys. It's time. Trust the process. And I'm predicting this right now on the date of
predictions.
On March 5th, 2024. Saying this right now. We will beat the Packers this year. And Caleb will win Rookie of the Year.
Damn.
Yikes. Now, this might be one of two things. This might be one of the greatest predictions ever, or this might be on our blooper reel for when we get to make fun of you later, Peter, because, man, is it still up in the air. But listen, guys, I just wanted to say that, I had a really good time tonight on our podcast. I think we had a great episode tonight, guys. Great content tonight. But it is time to hit the hay for all of us here at Wake Up Sports Podcast. Do you guys have any last thoughts here, boss man? Peter, you guys got some last thoughts here before we hop off?
Boss, you can go first.
Okay.
Me first? Okay. Guys, listen. Guys, listen. Come back Thursday. We will be talking NHL. We will be talking MMA. And we will be talking about a whole lot of sports. And we have some special guests coming. That's what I got to say.
Yeah, speaking on that, next week we have Mr. Cotty Dean coming on. who just happens to be my father, a Friday Night Lights superstar. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Friday Night Lights, but that is that's a big guest to have come on, talk to us about what he thought about while he was going through that whole year, if it felt movie worthy. You guys come tap in and come listen to a former high school superstar. And we'll hear more about that next week. But with that being said, boss man, you got anything for me?
So Thursday, that's coming up. So we do 2 podcasts a week, guys. Every Tuesday and Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We got a lot of big names coming up, like Stilo just said. Friday Night Lights star. We're going to talk some NHL. Next Tuesday, we got Vontez Perfect.
Yeah! Vontez Perfect coming in.
Oh, I'm going to eat him alive.
We've got NFL stars lined up. Like, if you guys are not into sports, we got, bro, like the names we have lined up are just bananas. Just absolutely bananas. Come join us. Hang out with us. We interact with you guys. Go follow us on TikTok. Bossman on TikTok. Pete Sports Desk on TikTok. Stilo on TikTok. We're live, like, every day. Chit-chatting. Hanging out. Like, we'd love to get to know you guys. Come in, hang out. Make sure you subscribe. And shout out to our sponsors. Because without that, we couldn't be doing this. So shout out to Underdog Fantasy Football. Make sure you guys use the link Bossman, Pete Sports Desk, or Stilo for a matching deposit up to $100 on your first one. And then shout out to Funko Pops. Make sure you guys
shout out Funko Pops.
Funko.
Anyways,
and for me, Pete, Stilo.
Hey, God bless you guys. Y'all have a wonderful evening. It's been a pleasure up with you guys. Great episode. And to the chat, God bless y'all for watching. Keep coming back. Can't wait to talk to y'all next week, or on Thursday, actually.
Thursday.
Wake Up Sports. We out.